Sanhedrin Daf Hit Amud Aleph, 4 lines down. Continuing. Takaton kagadol tishma'un, you should hear the small and the great cases alike. Marish Lakish. Shia Habib Alecha din shel piruta kedin shel me'amane. A small case of one piruta of $1 should be equal to you like 100 maneh, like $1,000,000. And my hechta, what is it referring to? Even if you want to tell me la'aneh you have to make sure you examine it and investigate. Pshita, of course. The halacha is don't give precedence to higher cases. So if the first case comes first as $1, the case behind is $1,000,000, you can't tell the $1,000,000 case to go first. Next, don't withhold your words like we said earlier. God's judge because judgment is God. Hashem says, he says, it's not bad enough that the bad judges take away money from one person and give it to someone else. But on top of that, Hashem now, quote unquote, has to figure out a way to get it back from said person and give it back to the correct person. But something that's difficult for you, Moshe said to the people when he split the judges, Moshe said, okay, the hard stuff you'll bring to me. Because it sounded arrogant, Moshe was punished. He brought the halacha of the daughters of Zelophehad, the inheritance. He didn't know what to do. He was punished by not knowing the halacha. That's why he had to bring the case. Because he sounded arrogant, he had to bring a case to Hashem because he didn't know the answer. The pasuk doesn't say Moshe will cause you to hear it. That sounds like he didn't understand it. Ushma'ativ ktiv, and I will hear it. Moshe wasn't arrogant by saying I'll let you know, or like don't worry about it. He was saying I'll find out. So he was being humble. And look at the time rather, why didn't he know the halacha of tzlov chad? It wasn't because he was arrogant, but rather the following. Really, the halacha of the inheritance that we learned that the daughters can inherit the father through tzlov chad should have been written through Moshe Rabbeinu. But because the daughters of tzlov chad wanted Eretz Yisrael so badly, they were such tzidkaniyot, they were zocher that they were able to have the parasha written through them. Similarly, the punishment of one who cuts stuff on Shabbat or Mechal Shabbat, he's Mechayim Mita, should have been written through Moshe Rabbeinu. However, the guy who happened to do it in the Midbar, he was Chayav, and therefore it was written through him. He was the guinea pig. The teach us specifically that bad things are passed through people who do bad things, and good things are passed through those who are good. Right? We see good things passed through the daughters of Chara and bad things through Mekoshesh. Ksiv, Pasuk says, you shall command Moshe command the judges at that time. And it also says Moshe will command the people at that time. So why one judges? Why is he command people? Why is he command judges? The second warning, the second pasuk is a warning to the people that they should have the fear of a judge. Listen to them. The first pasuk is a warning to the judge. Have patience with the people. How much you have patience you have to have. Like a person, like a father who's carrying his baby. Yeah, that's how much the judge has to have patience. Ktiv, Pasuk says, Ki tavo, when Yehoshua will go into Eretz Israel. It sounds like he was going to go with the people. Ktiv, Ki tavi. Then it says Yehoshua will bring them. So is he a leader or is he a person? I mean, we know he's a leader, but how come it refers to him in two different capacities? Moshe told Yehoshua, you and the Zakanim, the leaders, will lead Bnei Israel. Said, he told Yeshua, take the stick and hit the Zakanim, yani show them who's boss. You're their boss. There can only be one leader, and therefore you have to take charge. Tana Barta says, Zimun bishlosha. You need a judge for Zimun. Now, my Zimun, what does it mean Zimun? Even about Birkat Hamazon Zimun, if you need like Zimun for Birkat Hamazon. But Tana Barta says, Zimun Birkat Zimun bishlosha. You need 3 people for the Zimun. Maybe this Braita is explaining two separate laws. My zimun, birkat zimun. What is zimun refers to? Birkat Hamazon zimun. Vatan says zimun b'shosha, birkat zimun b'shosha. Two different things. One zimun, three, and one berkat zimun, three. So what's ama zimun? What's zimun? Azmon in the din is referring to being summoned to betin. Said, if there's three judges sitting in judgment and they wanting someone to appear, the messenger goes and says, okay, the judge A is waiting for you, and he didn't say all three. He doesn't have to go. Until he says Judge A, B, C are waiting for you. That only applies when it's not the regular day of judgment. But if it's the day of judgment, he doesn't have to mention all three. He has to mention one because he's supposed to be there already. Next part of the Mishnah. Tashlum Kefil, when you have two, you have to pay double payments. And also four or five. You also have three judges. Shalach Rahman bar Rahman bar Yaakov lemdin rabbeinu, Rabbi, teach us. Dinei knasot bekama. How many judges you need for a penalty? The Gemara is Maki Bela. What's the question? Our Mishnah said three. By the question is whether or not a single professional judge can do it by himself. Can he do penalties halachot by himself or not? Marley answered in Tenitu of Mishnah, two payment, double payment, four times payment, five times payments, all these are knas payments. And you need three judges. My shosha, what does it mean by further? If he means three regular people, Hamar Avod Avu Rav. Your grandfather said, even 10 people, if they are regular people, they can't be doing penalty cases. Must be referring to professional judges, and you still need three. You can't do one. Next, say, the case of a guy who accuses his wife of not being a betulah when they got married. Also, 23 cases, Rameir holds three. So, why does Chachamim say that you need 23 judges? If right now he's not suing her, he's not bringing witnesses, for example, that she was mizaneh, and there's no reason to believe that she's at risk of dying, and therefore three should be enough. He's only suing her for the money, and therefore of the ketubah. Therefore, it's three judges should suffice. Where it says, we're worried about whether or not word will spread in the town. Therefore, once word spreads, the Meir already holds in Choshtinas, I'm not worried about it. Even if people spread, I'm not worried about it. Three judges are enough. We're not worried about they're dying. Rabbanan Chachamim say no. Choshtinas, we're worried that the word will spread. Witnesses will come and testify that maybe she did commit adultery in the interim between Erusin and Nisuin, and therefore she might die. She might be at risk of dying. Therefore, we start with 23 judges. Rav Amar says different explanation. Really don't have. We're not worried about the word spreading. We're over here machloket whether or not are we worried about the honor of the first judges who were there? Meaning, really initially, it was a case. The husband brought in 22 judges saying this woman was mizaneh and therefore she has to die. What happens? Vibadur. At that end of the day, they couldn't convict her for death. He told the judges, "Whoa, at least try to give me my money back for the ketubah. I should not have to pay the ketubah, even though she can't die for this. I still want to be patur for ketubah and dissolve the marriage. So therefore, Chachamim would hold, even though it's money, you still do 23 judges because you don't remove 20 judges. It's not kavod. Chachamim say, nah, it's fine. Let him kish. Metzveh. Let's bring a question. Say, if the guy claims money, you have three judges. The guy is trying to kill the lady. He has 23 judges. Based on the makes sense. Must be he claimed only money first. Then he added it afterward. And I said, but if he originally tried to get her killed, even if he can't do it and is only getting money, you would still need 23 judges. You can't reduce it to three judges according to that opinion. Ula must be according to Ula. Kasha. Ula says that if the original claim is according to Ula, how would Ula make sense of this braita? If according to Ula you might say that three should be enough to let him kish. The Gemara says, is me and the leader of the group, which is Rabbi Chia Baravin, explained this. What is the talking case? He brought witnesses initially that she was mizaneh and therefore she should die. Then the father of the girl brought witnesses and knocked out his witnesses with zomem witnesses. Zomem witnesses is witnesses that, in general, rather, let's talk about general. If I have two witnesses that say A and another guy brings witnesses that say B against my two witnesses, they cancel each other out. Zimum is the only type, is a chidush l'Torah. Kasher zamam is if someone brings witnesses that the other person's witnesses were with them at the time of their testimony. On that, they testified last Tuesday. One second, you were with us on Tuesday in China. So that's a special halacha that they not only are believed, but the two witnesses who were trying to testify against that person are chayav, whatever they're trying to be making chayav. So therefore, so the case is that the father of the girl brought witnesses against the husband witnesses and were zomem his witnesses, the husband's witnesses. And therefore, the father is trying to get money, right? The father gets, if we didn't mention this, but if the husband is falsely accuses the girl of being mizaneh, of not being a betula, he has to pay the father of the girl 100 shekels for embarrassing her. Silver shekels, expensive stuff. Bishlam now in Bishlam, the case where the father is trying to get the money from the husband is 3. But with the capital cases, if they're worried about the girl dying, then basically need 23 witnesses, 23 judges. Rabbi says the really Tomar case where we are worried about the we're still in Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Meir and Hachamim. We are worried about the word spreading. And also we're also worried about the judges, and therefore we can't kish the judges. So what's the machloket? Why would Rabbi Meir hold that 3 is good enough? Come on, a case where the wife was warned before she was with this man in being mizaneh. They warned her that she would die, and they didn't tell her how she would die. V'hai tanahu, and this is according to the following brayta. The Tana brayta says, all cases except for avodah zarah, in order to be put to death, en mitinotam ela be'ida, you have to have a din of 23. Ve'edim, you have to have witnesses to it. V'hatra'a, and the witnesses have to warn her. Ve'ad, and additionally, shehu hayab mitah be'edin, they have to notify them that they are going to be chayab mitah bedin if they do this sin. Rabbi Damer has on top of that, which we're going according to, ad shiudu be'ezem mitah hunarag. You also have to tell them which mitah you're going to die. So you have to tell them headache. If you don't mention which mitah, you tell them the wrong one, you can't put them to death. So our Mishnah is talking about a case where he says they didn't warn her which one it is, and therefore it was a case of 3, even though he was trying to kill it. Definition. I don't need all that stuff. The woman who was a Tamidah Hacham, she knew the halachot. The halachot as follows. If a person is a Tamid Chacham or woman knows halacha, you don't need any warning. Usually you have to warn someone to make them chayav and betin. According to this halacha is, if they know halachot, you don't have to warn them, because the only part of a warning is to make sure that they're not shogeg. They're not doing it by accident. But if you warn them, they're doing it on purpose. But if they're Tamid Chacham, you don't need them. You don't need to warn them in the first place. So over here is talking about a case where she was knowledgeable, and therefore, according to Rabbi Meir, he would agree with Rabbi Yossi that saying that she needs a warning, and therefore it will be only 3. Rav Ashi is a different explanation. Kigon, the talking about a case the atru be malkut v'lo atru be malkat la. The husband brought witnesses who warned the wife that if she does adultery, if she's mizaneh with this man, she'll get malkut. But it's not true. She's supposed to get death. The kamifiki b'daftu de Rabbi Yishmael b'Rabbanan time. Malkut b'shasha mishum Rabbi Yishmael amaru be'esim l'shasha. And therefore, it's about a case. The Mishnah says Malkut is 3, according to the Hachamim, and Rabbi Ishmael holds no 23, and therefore the same Machloket is Rabbi Ishmael would hold like Hachamim that 23 is good enough for the judges to case of Malkut, and Rabbi Meir would hold with Rabbi Ishmael saying 3 is good enough for lashes, and that's the case of our Mishnah as well. There's more Machloket, what the Machloket between Rabbi Meir and Hachamim. We'll think tomorrow.